He was a mild-mannered science teacher by day, a meth manufacturer by night. This isn't a TV show. This is the real-life story of a man who lived the Breaking Bad fantasy and paid the price. Before Walter White ever appeared on screen, there was a man named William Duncan, a high school chemistry teacher from Texas. To his students, he was just Mr. D. Quiet, professional, the type of guy who graded homework on time and always smelled faintly of chalk dust and lab equipment. But behind the classroom door, Duncan was leading a double life. In 2005, the DEA raided a seemingly normal house just outside Houston. Inside, they found what investigators would later describe as a professional-grade meth lab, complete with glassware, burners, chemical masks, and an air filtration system straight out of a university research facility. And in the middle of it all was Mr. D. How did a teacher, a man trusted to educate kids, end up cooking methamphetamine? The story isn't just about one man. It's about temptation, debt, ego, and how even the smartest minds can spiral into the darkest places. William Duncan had a PhD in chemistry. At one point, he worked in pharmaceutical research. But budget cuts and family needs led him into teaching, a job that paid far less than what he'd once earned in the private sector. His personal life was unraveling. A divorce, medical bills, a mortgage he could barely keep up with. And then came the idea. Why not use what he knew, organic chemistry, lab synthesis, to solve his financial problems? According to court documents, Duncan began small. He experimented with different meth recipes in a rented storage unit. He told friends he was working on a science project. In reality, he was refining purity levels. The drugs he produced weren't just potent, they were pure. Some batches tested at over 95% purity. That's Breaking Bad level quality. Word spread fast on the streets. Duncan didn't even have to sell directly. He used middlemen, former students, acquaintances, even one ex-colleague. And for a while, he got away with it. Until he didn't. An anonymous tip, traced license plate numbers, and one disgruntled former associate led the DEA straight to his lab. When they raided the house, Duncan didn't resist. He reportedly said, "I always knew this day would come." The case made headlines across Texas, but it never got national attention until years later when Breaking Bad began airing. People online started comparing the show to Duncan's life, and eerily, the parallels were real. A chemistry teacher, a hidden lab, a descent into crime masked by academic precision. But there's one key difference. Walter White's story ends in a blaze of cinematic glory. William Duncan's story ended with a 22-year prison sentence. He lost his job, his pension, and what little family he had left. And Duncan wasn't the only one. In the years that followed, multiple real-life Walter Whites were exposed across the U.S., one in Alabama, another in Kansas. In 2016, a Montana man named Todd Barrick was arrested for running a meth operation out of a cabin. He even told police he was inspired by the show. But these men weren't masterminds. Most were desperate, broke, or trying to impress someone. And unlike the TV version, they all got caught. The question is, why does this story resonate so much? Is it because we like to believe there's a dark genius inside us? Or because we're fascinated by how far an ordinary person might go when life backs them into a corner? Walter White is fiction, but William Duncan was real. And his story reminds us that the line between teacher and criminal can be just one bad decision away. Thanks for watching Digital Detectives. Subscribe for more true crime, internet mysteries, and the strange stories hiding in plain sight. Until next time, Stay curious and stay safe.